Namaste. I see the divine in you as you see the divine in me. Namaste. And in these beautiful spaces we are all one. And isn't it a beautiful way to greet each other like this? As I am the teacher for you, you are the teacher for me. As I am a student of you, you are the student of me. Because we are all one, and in the higher spaces we are all one. And the oneness, growing into the oneness, is very, very important in this day and age. As the more spiritually mature we become, the more we understand how important it is to understand the collective oneness and to grow in harmony within each other and to stay into the forgiveness and to always understand that we are divine. As you see the divine in me, I see the divine in you. Namaste. This evening, I believe, will be a beautiful teaching, although I never am aware of what is going to come through. At times I am aware of main thoughts that may come through, but at this time I'm not sure of anything that's going to come through. I know that Lord Emmanuel will come through with a beautiful teaching. I know that Kairon will come through with a beautiful teaching, and I don't know about the third speaker. So it is all a beautiful surprise, and it is a beautiful time to be surprised with the greatest light coming to this plane. So I pray that millions of people one day will begin to listen to the teachings from the divine and recognize how important it is to begin to listen to the great one collective consciousness and the greater divine spaces so that we can reach that divine consciousness as well. Namaste. Greetings, dear brothers and sisters, dear sons and daughters in the light. I am Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great. And here in these spaces you are welcomed by divine love and divine light. We are here to guide you upwards and onwards into the greatness, and to helping you to understand how divine you are and how divine all things are. It is important to understand that you are entering a new age of depth within you, and understanding how important it is to begin to listen to the great divine teachings. For you upon this earth are the discoverers of the new knowledge and the greatness coming into your plane. Look, my channel, Jesus said 2,000 years ago, a time will come when the great Lord will trumpet through his teachings. As you are hearing these times being spoken, so you will hear him speak to you. But will the children of the light begin to listen? Will they understand that the greatness has come upon the earth? Go and preach these good things to others. Go and collect the people together and allow them to hear the divine Father speaking. And in these times, I, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, have awoken my designated channel. And in these times, my designated channel is Suzanna Maria Emmanuel, who is here to trumpet through the teachings from the great divine sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, the same divine being that used Jesus 2,000 years ago. For he was my designated channel then, and you are hearing the teachings from the same divine sovereign Lord now being spoken, as I promised to return to the people 2,000 years ago. I now have returned to uphold my promise. And I've always stated to the people back then, at first a few would recognize the voice of the great divine, and then more and more will enter into the gates, until so many would say, look, the divine Lord has truly returned to be with the people. Let us enjoy the feast of greatness, for the peace is certainly to come upon our plain and now. It has always been prophesied that these great times would come to your plain, when you would not even begin to remember the pain that was upon your plain. Does this mean that you will not remember it at all, as if history has been wiped away? And no, it will mean that you will not want to return to those painful energies, because you understand them, and you have changed the plane, and you have begun to listen, so that great love can enter into the places of the earth spaces. As I am trumpeting through these teachings, are the people beginning to listen? Or are they still in their own ways and say, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, we're too busy following this belief or that belief? Or that belief, we do not believe that you are here, speaking through your designated channel. It's very important for you to understand that 2,000 years ago, people did not believe either. For they approached my channel, Jesus, and they said, who is your Father then? How do we know he truly exists? Look, you're looking up at the heavens, but we can't see anyone there. And we hear a voice being spoken through you, but how can you prove that it is not you who's speaking, Jesus? And so it is the same when they hear these words being spoken through my designated channel, Suzanna, Maria, Emmanuel, they will still say the same. Nothing has really changed. All things repeat itself. And yet I state that I, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, have awoken my channel, my designated channel, Suzanna, Maria, Emmanuel, to be my channel in this day and age upon your plain, to trumpet through the words that the great Sun consciousness has returned. Do you see the great Sun consciousness rising? Do you see the great light rising? As I stated through my channel 2,000 years ago, the people heard these words, I am the light. I am here to bring light to your plain. So the listeners of the great Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great will hear these words too being spoken. I am the light. I am the way. I am the truth. There is no other way other than through my being, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great. And when you look at this very teaching, look at how many people have so misinterpreted it. They truly believed that it was through Jesus, that he was the way, but he was my channel. He never stated that he was the way, the truth, the light. He stated all these words because he was channeling my being. I, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, am the great way. No one can come to the great divine love except through the Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great himself. Because this is the way all things have been created, You are part of my being, and there's no way that you can return to that great oneness if the way hadn't been created. If the people do not recognize the divine, how can they reach the divine within them? How can they go upwards and ascend into the divine beauty that they so search for? But the people keep looking here and there and follow their own ways and keep going to their churches, although many of those belief centers are breaking down. But who is listening to the great divine way? And I ask you, as great sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, have the people really changed? Well, your evolution has been so great, and yet the listeners are still relatively few. As in the days of Jesus they were, so in the days of these ages they are too. You may say, look at all these people, then Lord Emmanuel the Great, great sovereign Lord, they all go to churches and bow down to Jesus. And they celebrating the great divine? Yet I will state, they have never understood the great divine Lord, as they refused to understand the love that my channel Jesus brought to the earth 2,000 years ago. They also refuse to listen to it now until they begin to open their hearts and say, I understand the great divine truth now. Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, open my heart so I may learn to walk the higher way of love and truth. What is it that I can do to become more divine, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great? First, it is by always understanding that divine truth already is within your heart. Just like I spoke through my designated channel Jesus 2,000 years ago, those teachings still remain the same. Although the people 2,000 years ago had no idea what Jesus was bringing through. They didn't understand the ways of the heart, or the quiet spaces, or what it meant that the whole earth would become peace and love one day. How will that be? Jesus, how can your Father say that? You teach us to pray for the kingdom, but we cannot see that happening. So Jesus had to speak so softly and so quietly to the people. Look, the divine Lord is within your heart. As I am in union with the divine Lord, so you are too. Always bring your heart into holiness, as you also bring the name of the great divine Father into holiness. For he is part of you, and as you stand in holy love with the Holy Spirit of your own being, you stand in love with the Holy Spirit of the great divine Father. As I am one with the great divine Father, you are too. Oh, but the people did not understand that 2,000 years ago. How can that be, Jesus? How can you say that we are one? For our leaders teach us that we are not good, that we are sinners, and when we do one thing wrong, when we don't obey their laws, we do not have so much love within our lives. So how can you explain that the great divine Father is part of my being, our being? How can you explain that? Said one old man in front of a great crowd. So Jesus had very great difficulty explaining to a great crowd how much love the divine Father had for the children. So he said these words, one day you will inherit the earth, and the earth will welcome you in her heart, and you will understand that you are part of the divine Father, and that the divine Father has never left you, You think the Divine Father, the Divine Lord has left you, leaving you in these barren spaces of fear and agony. But He has never left you. You need to celebrate the Divine Lord within you so that you understand that He will always live within you. Go and be with your heart. Go and understand divine truth. And then return to these spaces and hear the words of the great Divine Father being spoken to you. And understand that He has so much love for you. He's never far away from you. He's within you. Go to your quiet chambers and listen to the voice of the Father within you. And so many of His followers did not believe. And they walked away being puzzled, and every now and then they came back to listen. And then Jesus would give the great channeled message of forgive. Learn to forgive your brother and your sister. Learn to forgive your animals. Always forgive. Forgive your homes. Forgive the weather. Forgive your leaders, your spiritual leaders. And then the people would say, why, Jesus, why do we need to keep forgiving? And Jesus would state, because you learn to forgive. The great Father can gift you so much more. How can the great Father gift you when you do not know how to forgive? For everything is a part of your being. When you forgive your home, it can make it greater. When you forgive your animals, they will give you more. When you forgive your dear brother or sister, they will become more loving. When you forgive yourself, you'll become more holy. When you forgive your religious leaders, they cannot do you any more harm. Go and be more forgiving. Stay in the peace. And dear people, be in your heart. Be in the love. And always stay in the giving. For when one gives, one receives more. Go and forgive the givers, and forgive yourself as the receiver, so that your heart may be open more to the givers, so that your heart may become a greater receiver. Learn to forgive each other, constantly staying in the love. Never anger. Never anger. Never go to sleep at night staying in your anger. Do you not know that when you're angry, you cannot be with the great Father of the heavens? Stay in the love. Keep praying for the greatness to come to you, knowing that you are perfect already. As I am perfect, you are perfect too. And together we are perfect as one. Now go and learn. Jesus said, I am now very tired. And He spoke like this to the people hour after hour. And they kept questioning the higher thoughts, the higher ways. And when I speak these words through this designated channel, Suzanna, Maria, Emmanuel, so many listeners are recognizing the great divine truth of all that I have returned to shepherd the people to the greatness. And these teachings have not changed, friends, for these teachings will always remain the same until you begin to learn the great love within you. And when you become that great love, you will become so great that you will not need to understand any of the old ways anymore. For then you have become love. You have truly learned to forgive all these ways. You've truly learned to pick up those light torches and show the way to others. Teach others to become of love. And stay in the forgiveness, stay in the love, and become more of love always. Do not hold grudges against another. For when you hold a grudge against another, how can I, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, bless you? For I am truly looking for opportunities to bless all people, but I can only bless those who understand who I am. Just like in the days of Jesus, so it is today. I am here to look for those ones who are searching for truth, love, and light, who are searching for the way upwards, who are truly searching. And to find that truth is not always so easy. It is like looking for a needle in a haystack. And as you know, looking for that needle in a haystack is very, very difficult. And yet for those ones who can truly say, I kept seeking, Lord, I kept asking, Lord, and there I found you. For those ones I truly bless. And those ones will be truly guided to love, truth, and everlasting blessings in the greatest spaces of divinity. Greetings, I am Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great.
Greetings.